Hi there. The move to stage 4 lockdowns in Victoria has heightened debate about the economic impact of measures designed to limit infections, reduce the load on the health system, suppress the virus that causes COVID-19, and ultimately to preserve the lives of those at risk of being killed by it. For some people, it seems obvious that all policy should be developed and assessed with a view to achieving the best outcomes. Those speaking the language of consequences think it uncontroversial when they calculate the costs and benefits to physical and mental health, to productivity and so on, and then recommend policy that, as a whole, will deliver the greatest good for the greatest number, whether that be in terms of physical health, mental health, material prosperity, etc. It is this view that leads to the calculation of the relative odds of suffering infection, death, etc., and then compares the relative costs, understood in the broadest sense, of intervening to manage those risks. Such calculations are important, as facts really matter in ethics. However, there is a difference between drawing on statistics to inform debate and using them as the sole criterion for judgment. Despite this, there is a growing chorus of critics focusing on what they think is wrong with the policy of lockdown, with those prescriptions of how they should adjust the policies to suit economic realities. However, what if we're looking in the wrong direction? What if the problem lies not with the policy of lockdown, but with the economy? To put the question in the starkest of terms, is there not something profoundly wrong within an economy that requires a few people to be sacrificed for the sake of the prosperity of the many? Some might reply by saying that this is simply the harsh reality. I disagree. Our economy is a product of choice, not necessity. We only need to look to history to see where the truth lies. We have adapted our economy in the past to remove child labour, to curb slavery, to make workplaces safe. Knowing this, how can it be ethically acceptable to maintain an economy that can only function if a percentage of the old and infirm are left to die? Perhaps we've become so familiar with the current state of economic affairs as to think them immutable. Perhaps we've blinded ourselves to new possibilities. Indeed, why are we not using the COVID-19 pandemic to engage in a fundamental reappraisal of our economic arrangements? What other options might we see if only we were to look with fresh eyes and then allow ourselves to imagine something better suited to our current needs? Is it truly beyond us to develop an economy that begins with recognition of the intrinsic good of human dignity? There's a fine line between acting out of ethical conviction and being blind to other ways of seeing the world, ways that might be equally but differently principled. What about our current world are we just not seeing, simply because familiarity makes it invisible to our gaze? So let me ask you, when it comes to ethical issues, how and where do you draw the line?